So just wanted to know your journey of IFT Calcutta campus from the one campus in Salt Lake to the new campus.
Okay, well, that was a little before my time, but from what I know, as part of the expansion of IFT Delhi,
Right.
IFT Calcutta campus was proposed. I think they started in about 2012, I think, a little earlier. They started a little earlier in Salt Lake. 2012, the building over here got ready. The current IFT Calcutta got ready, and they worked for some time in off campus. That's what we called off center campus, the normal courses. And initially, of course, they were merely considered an extension of Delhi. I mean,
Right.
Delhi, we can, IFT was to understand is a fully residential management program. So IFT Delhi can only offer so many seats.
Correct.
So the overflow, we thought a lot of them would go to Calcutta since the teaching was common in both places. So it was kind of an extension of Delhi, but just changed from then. Today, for
Okay.
example, once the new building has come, today IFT Calcutta is academically almost completely, if you want to call it, separated from Delhi. Of course, there's interchange of faculty sometimes, but they don't depend on Delhi. They
True.
generate their own funding. They are quite self-sufficient in terms of funding too. And not only that, now that IFT since about 2012 is a university, and since 2007 IFT is a NAC grade 1 institution also. This applies to IFT Calcutta too. And IFT Calcutta also has expanded to economics program, PhD programs, MDP programs, expanding it. So they are literally like becoming a very quick replica of the Delhi unit.
True.
So it's a big journey. I mean, I think last 2 3 years has been a very phenomenal journey for Calcutta. Since I came, I cannot say before me, but ever since I'm here, let's say about 2018, 19, now 20, I mean, I think the growth in Calcutta is phenomenal. I still see it has tremendous potential because it has a lot of capacity which Delhi doesn't have because of
Right.
physical rooms. Calcutta is a cheaper place to live outside than Delhi, and all those things matter.
True. True, sir. Okay.
But remember, the degree is a single degree. We maintain educational conformity in terms of standard between Delhi and Calcutta. There's a coordination committee to make sure that grades are not inflated anywhere. Course
True.
contents are the same. It's just that the academic administration of it may be different. Teacher there may be different teacher here, but we maintain academic conformity. So the degree they all get is the IFT degree. It's not IFT Calcutta degree or IFT Delhi degree.
Okay. Do we
Yeah.
have the combined placement for both the campus, or there's a separate placement for Calcutta and separate
Oh,
for
we have
Delhi?
combined. We have combined. So far, we have combined. You see, the reason is that most companies want to come to Delhi Central. So
True.
right now, we have a combined placement. But we will think about possibilities of that in future once the industrial sector builds up in Calcutta. Companies are mostly located in Delhi,
True.
but so right now still centralized. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So, what are a few things which differentiates IFT Calcutta from the other business school in India?
Well, I think the first thing, of course, is the focus. Remember, we are, people keep saying business school. Yes, we have business school, but also university.
True.
University means you have research. Students can get into research projects, which is something which students in other institutions cannot do. So they get a lot of hands-on experience in research and other things, even while doing the master's program. Then the teachers, if we are not a teaching school, I mean, let me say, we're not a teaching shop. We are quite rigorous in terms of our evaluation system. So I think the main thing that distinguishes us is one, like IFT in general, we focus on two main areas, trade and finance, and of course, some element of marketing, but trade finance are the two main focus areas, one. And secondly, because they are part of the university system, students they gain from the advantage of the university building. And when the NEP comes, in fact, I just mentioned, once the NEP is implemented, then standalone manual schools are going to have a problem because the
True.
HEI does not recognize. All HEIs by 2030 have to migrate to the to a UG, to a HEC, Higher Education Authority Institution, HEI platform. That means they must have interdisciplinary courses. I don't know if they will give exemptions to the IIMs and the IITs, I really don't know. But you can see IITs have already got there. IITs admit people in political science, history, so everyone has to migrate to a university thing. I think we already get moving towards that because we already have an economic department and other things will be discussed in our BOM about where we go. So, main reason, I think the most distinguishing factor is that we are set in a very different context. Our placements are very high. The last NIRF ranking in terms of perception as a business school, I think only the IIMs were rated slightly higher. So
Right.
we were about 12th, 10th or 11th in terms of perception rating as the top business school. If you take the rating to business school either in case of trade or then we are number one. There's no doubt about that. That no one ever debates.
Right.
So, but the growth of the institution is particularly good because they are located in an ecosystem university. So we are not a teaching shop. Take as many students as possible and keep on, you know. So I think that's the main. So it is a management department now. It's not only an MBA course. It has a graduate studies program. It has a PhD program, and students are encouraged in the PhD program to be involved in the teaching program. They can maybe having tutorials. So that's how we distinguish from other business schools.
Okay. How do you see this new education policy is going to change the MBA education system in India?
I just mentioned. Let me repeat again. There is going to be no, if they actually implement it, right now it's only a policy, let's wait for the act all to come through, then there cannot be MBA school. You cannot be someone doing only MBA. You cannot do that. You will have to migrate to a university structure. Either you will become a university yourself, like we are. We are, by the way, deemed to be university grade 1 anyway.
Right.
So we are already a university. And we are equivalent to any other central university in terms of what we can do and what we cannot do. But either you will have to become a university or you will have to become part of a cluster scheme.
Okay.
Cluster scheme may work in small places. You can't tell someone in Calcutta, okay, you do your one course here and for the next you go to Dum Dum Airport to take your next course. That is not going to happen. So
True.
you can be either part of a cluster scheme, but you have to change. And I believe we have already started discussing that here. I believe many institutions who are not discussing this among themselves are going to be in trouble. So let me put it this way, the competition is going to become intense. And I think there are two ways. One, restructuring yourself in a university kind of system. And two, getting ready for foreign competition. Let's be honest. It's not that the foreign institutions are going to all suddenly head to India. I'm not saying that. They will have, they will have collaborations. And they're not going to be collaboration leaders. So business schools, which are in the teaching shop, take 3,000 MBA students, take another 5,000 online, they'll be in serious trouble. So, restructuring of your program, including and when institutions grow and competition increases, frankly, the only ones which standalone are those with strong research content. Harvard is not known just for business school. It's known for its Harvard Business Review, which is a major magazine. That magazine wouldn't come out if Harvard did not have a PhD program. So if you don't have a good research program, you're going to fall by the wayside. So yes, major changes will be required once the NEP is notified.
Okay. So one more thing which I would like to ask, like India has more than 4,000 B school, right? Out of which we have got some top 100 B school, elite class B school, which we call, wherein people are somehow getting good education and also followed by good placements. But there are more than 3,000 colleges which is not been able to deliver the quality education as well as quality placements. So do you think India is generating the right managers which will build the country, take the country to the next level?
See, explosion of management, teaching, has coincided with explosion of the industry in general after the opening of the economy in 19. But institutions take time. So it's been very haphazard. And the example of engineering will happen. You saw what happened to engineering. Today, 60% of institutions in the South in engineering want to close down. Same thing will happen here. If you respond just to simple market and set up new institutions, then one of these days you're going to close down. So you will see, well, the economist Joseph Schumpeter said that there's creative disruption. You're going to have the same thing. Those who restructure themselves, those who become creative will survive. Those who carry on business usual, they'll be gone 5 years from now, I can tell you. So there'll be certainly a compression of the institution into quality. I think it's good for quality. But so far it's been, you open up a business school anyway, name it after someone start and you start. And
Mm-hmm.
recognition, somehow the other from state governments and get some, I will not get into how recognition are obtained. Various ways people have got, you get affiliated to a university and you become recognized. All that will change. This business of doing business by affiliating institutions is going to go. If
Okay.
notified, and I believe it should be, I think it's a very, very good step. It'll take time, but let me put it this way. I would say institutions have got the next 10 years restructure, otherwise they're gone. If they don't, if it's business as usual, they'll go down. Just like engineering, they'll go the same.
What is your take onto this online classes? Because of this COVID reason, all the leading V School of India this year is conducting online classes.
Well, I've been on a number of programs also. I don't think online will replace offline completely because people don't join institutions. Look at the intuitive logic. If online could replace offline completely, then you only need 10 institutions in the world, right?
Right.
And the rest of the places they can create franchise and start like hamburgers. You have only one McDonald's, you don't have two McDonald's. There's one McDonald's, it replicates itself everywhere by creating franchise. So if that is all that was required, was, then that would how to go, but that is not what it is. Offline education allows some tailoring. Education cannot be one size fits all first. Secondly, it allows there is what we call ecosystem education. In respect to your own case, you see there's much more. It is peer things, what you learn from other students, what you learned in cultural interactions, what networking you do among students. All of this is part of why is it that people remember their school education the most? And why are school friends considered the best friends in most cases? Because they are the ones you spend your maximum time with. Same thing with online. But I think online is important for one thing, extension. Suppose there is someone who would rather take an online course with me, or not me, let me put IFT, online course on IFT, rather than go to a third rate institution. Then that is where the outreach, if you want to call it, I cannot be everywhere
Right.
by online. So I think this COVID that way as a side blessing that shown people that online can work. Before this, no one tried it, not good to work. We've been teaching, by the way, without a break since March 23rd. We've never stopped.
Mhm.
Nothing, either the administrative work nor the teaching work of any program has stopped. PhD programs are working. So now there's no need to have offline PhD vivas. You send the thesis online and you have set up an online meet, like we are doing right now. Now, why is there any need for me to come to Calcutta and talk to you? What is the difference between what I say now? So there are lots of things that administration. I find I can do it's the same thing as to do meeting people or faculty in the whole day. I can now do in 2 hours, 3 hours. Finish everything. I finish this meeting, I'm on to the next. Efficiency, particularly in finance, particularly in administration, you can be really efficient. You can, otherwise you call someone, I can't come. Everyone can be there and everyone speak to everyone else. And all the departments say them, we should bring them online. We have a dedicated IFT, we have a dedicated Microsoft Teams platform. And every faculty member, every staff member, every student registered from the IFT is automatically part of the tribe network. They can set up a meeting at the click of a button with anyone else in the university. So efficiency is going to increase and it's going to be the death knell of fly-by-night organizations. That's what's going to happen. So it is not a replacement completely, but certainly a good way of doing extension work.
So, do you think that this year the quality of MBA student will be meeting the the requirement of the corporates which we have? because of this online classes, people will be taking most of the online classes.
Here, as I said, as far as teaching content is concerned, nothing will suffer. Students may suffer some personal growth because they have not grown in a offline, but that's only for about 6, 7 months, I presume. Hopefully, let me not say it's correct. Hopefully, by next year, things will be better by January, because I'm pretty certain, and I think that's correct. The last institutions to be opened will be the higher education, because we can do most things, frankly, online. There is no need. But they will lose a bit on that. But I think from the education and what they learn point of view, we are, for example, doing proctored examinations. Even our internal examinations, and it's working quite well. So I don't think the learning part is suffering as much. Maybe the interacting part is suffering a bit, and maybe the interacting among the students suffering a bit. I don't. But these, I cannot answer for others. But we, in any case, get such bright students,
True.
and they are finding their way. Everyone finds a way around. You know what they say? Water always finds its own level. Same thing. When you know this is going to happen for some months, you find your. I don't think that the quality of students. We've had no problem placement so far. So I don't think there'll be a problem.
Can you highlight a bit of the placement part of IIT Kolkata? Where do we differentiate our placement with the others?
Well, first of all, we the day we start our placement, 2 weeks later it's all over. That's one.
Okay.
Second, even before they finish their 2 years, most students were placed. Our last semester is only really sort of going through the drill, but they're all placed. Again, a pre-placement, I don't recall, don't know, there may be a few rare cases here and there of students who have not got pre-placement. Typically, a pre-placement converts into a final placement. That's typical. So, how do I distinguish? I don't know. If the institution does not have full placement, then that's how we're different. Our levels are high. The average salaries, as far as I'm aware, never goes below 19, 20 lakhs. The annual salary. Average. Goes up to much more than I can think of to myself. But, so, we have 100% placement, there's no doubt. There are obviously some staggering cases, there are some stragglers, there are always some problems here and there. And that sometimes happens, but otherwise, I don't see any, like, how do placement is 100%. I don't see it changing. We've had a higher intake this year because of the fact that we also have to, we follow all these central government rules. So you had to have an increase in the number of students because of the economically backward students. So the EB categories. In that category, so we are taking quite a few, but I don't see any problems. And I think if you be more specific, if you say placement, what's the problem? There isn't any. We have a dedicated, by the way, we have dedicated faculty. In Calcutta, in Delhi, one person is in charge only of placement along with other two junior faculty. He's a full-time faculty professor level. And plus the students are very active. Let's be honest, no institution can pretend that they run their placement without students being major. So the IMF, the union of the students, student body, have a placement person who's extremely active. And they play a very major role. And the faculty interacts with them. Then, of course, we have a major factor. We have very, very senior alumni. And the alumni does this bit to make sure that people get employed. So, we are already in that game. We don't have any problems. We don't really have to. We keep trying to add new and newer, bigger companies every year. But, we also don't want a situation where we add so many companies that companies come and find there are no students. It happened to us once. That's not a very good thing to happen. The company will never compete. So, well, we're in pretty good shape place-wise.
Can you highlight a bit about the notable anomaly of IFT, so that we can understand that
Where do I start? Well, I always start with my namesake, but no relation to me. There's Mr. Pant now. He's the only person I know who's the head of that famous company Amway. He's the first non-family person to head the global operation. I can't even think of where all to name. They're all over the place. IFT as a management institution, not that old. Please remember, it's not that it's been 100 years old like the others. But when you name me a company, there'll be an alumni. I mean, I have a whole list. I can't remember any names. But you name me one, particularly in trading company like Munam. Munam is one. And you think of any other now, for example, they're getting into software companies. So they are not by now. Most of them are at senior level managing positions. But I can think of quite a few. I can't think of a particular name. But they're all very senior managers.
So, quality of placements, is the output when we get good input. So, what are the few things which which we try to bring into the students of IFT? What are the few factors which we focus upon in next 2 years when they becomes a part of IFT?
Well, we hope. Well, I try to insist on it. We are hopefully get there. It depends also on the faculty. We try to focus more on the analytical, less on the descriptive.
Okay.
There's really no point doing courses after courses and putting so much in the head that no one can retain anything. There's no point. So we try to focus more on the analytical part, and we try to cut down on just the descriptive part. We focus on making sure that the basics get out well and not just worry about specializing very heavily in one or two areas. That is not a function of a manager anyway. And I would say the next thing, I cannot think of anything particular. We don't, we try to, since I came, I tried to tell everyone, it's not a contest
Mm.
between faculty and students. The grading system is because we have to have a grading system, but we are quite okay. Quite different in our grading. But it's not a contest. It's not that can I hit you first, can you hit me back? It's not like that. We try to cater to as much of the lowest common denominator that we can. Remember, we tend to have a very diverse set of students. Some are very weak for lots of reasons. And we have special things, help sessions for them too. So I would say the focus on the analytical as distinct from descriptive. That's the main thing. And although they are all very good students, frankly, it is not as if we're gearing already for the placement when we come. We are gearing to make sure that the basics of analytics and quantitative work is there.
Okay. So one more thing which I would like to ask, primarily the student from the leading B schools like IIMS, IFT, they feel that they, because they come from a big brand, they feel themselves that they are a brand. And then when they join the corporate in the first company, they basically don't want to, if they are into sales and marketing, they basically do not want to visit much to the client on road, right? So do you think, how should they be approached? Because this is something which I have noticed in my life as well. The people from these institutions coming to the market on the groundwork, they're not ready to do the groundwork part.
Well, this groundwork is going to become more and more irrelevant as digital technology goes. So to say that because you don't go on the ground, you don't know the market is not necessarily true.
Okay.
It's like saying that if I want to study the economics of making, well, you're in Calcutta, Sandesh, right? It doesn't mean I have to first make it myself, right? That is no logic. So this business of having to be traveling by foot and going, every Indian is aware of this situation in India. We all know we've got poor villages. We know we've got. But I don't think you have to tell people get on the road and talk to people. I don't think so, especially in a digital age. And in the last, 4 or 5 years in particular, the expansion of digital technology is so phenomenal. I'm not only talking about internet, I'm talking about WhatsApp, telephone, that I don't think that the getting on the road sales are necessarily the best way of doing it. There are various ways, that you can be sitting and finding out what the psychology of the consumer. After all, international fights are taking place over data. So, it's not as if you have to go. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If you, no, but that attitude that because I'm from so and so, I'm not going the road, then ultimately they will suffer because the market will fail. But it depends on what you are doing. It is not something that is essential to a business.
Primarily for the people who is going with sales, right? And they becomes a manager or senior manager or regional manager kind of things.
As I know in the private sector, there is everyone starts at the bottom.
Right.
They will all begin with sales. That's what it is. Then they will move from there to next. So it doesn't matter. The private sector tends to make you go through all parts of business and say, okay, no, you've done an exam, okay, you start straight with manager. Nothing happens. That's the very government of India system. You know, that you do the exam, you start. This is not there in the private sector. Even the biggest business houses, the family-based ones, make their family people go through the bill. Otherwise, they will lose. You know, today you make me a manager of, let's say, Tata Sons. I will drive the company under the ground because I don't know how it works. So everyone moves up. So I don't see that as a problem. I think private sector always makes people go through the private sector.
Okay.
Just
So you,
if you have better education level, you tend to move up faster. That's what it makes the difference. Yeah.
so I being a management graduate have one more questions to ask you. We teachers are management graduate about four P's and seven C's. Do you think that particular definitions of four P's and seven C's matters a lot in these days of marketing?
No, no, these are not 4P, 7. These are just mnemonics. Easy to remember. That's all. For example, I still remember in class 6 or 7, I learned that the colors are ROGBIC, ROGIBI. It doesn't mean I couldn't have learned about red, orange, green, but it is a mnemonics. I mean, you have to go with the 3P, 7C. These are just methods. These are methods of remembering. That's why I don't think that you are supposed to only say 3Cs. You cannot say what the 3Cs are. Competition. You cannot say that. It's not just mnemonics. I think you are putting too much focus on that. These are methods of memorizing. That's all.
So your final message for MBA 2021 batch?
Final? What?
Your final message for the people who is going to appear for the CAT or IFT exams in
Well,
this
as
particular.
I always say, for the IFT examination, which is a separate examination, as you know, focus on the analytics. Don't just focus on your, on this, this teaching shops and lot of information. Second thing, you must ensure your school records are also good. These matter. Not because I think something is better or something, but that's because when we are hiring people, the faculty which goes on, I don't, is also looking at people who they think will make good managers because they have experience. They have got inputs in the placement. That this is what we're looking for a person. This is what we're not looking for a person. We also, at least in IFT, we try to ensure some gender balance. So, I mean, it's not as if we say that we will give preference to a woman as opposed to a man, she's bad, but they're two equals and equally good. In fact, but let me be honestly, I think at least if economics one is the guide, you're soon going to have to have reservation for men. We're going the
Okay.
other way there. But in management, that's not true. But we do have a gender. We do try to do some gender balancing. Everyone has to do it, right?
True.
But it is not at the expense of merit. It's where the two candidates of exactly equal merit, everything the same. Then there may be an advantage to the female candidates compared to the male candidates. Otherwise, I would say that focus on the analytics. Don't go for mass learning. Don't go for mass memorization. You will go to teaching schools. Maybe teaching schools work. After all, we also have evolved into a method of examination over time. You can't change it every year. But make sure your questioning mind is there. That's
Right.
one.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so very much for your
And
time.
one more thing.
Tell me, sir.
At least while acting has always been true. You will never be able to use influence to get in management. I couldn't get my they're not around anymore. They're all working. If I had a son or daughter, I could not ensure. We have no management quota. If anyone thinks there's a management quota or a ministry quota, please tell them that don't even think about it. There's no such thing in IFT. There is no such thing. No employees quota, no management quota, no ministry, nothing. So it is your merit. Now, everyone thinks that merit is better than the other, that's different. But it is 100% merit. There's absolutely no influence or anything works. Right?
Noted, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much for your time. Thank you so much, sir. Bye. Good day, sir.
Good day.